Welcome to my channel Galactic War Story. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. The outpost stood where maps stopped pretending to be accurate. It was not important, not strategic, not even necessary, according to most officers who had never been assigned to it. A lonely structure of reinforced alloy and agging systems planted in a pale desert on a distant world that had seen too many wars and too few reasons to matter. Corporal Elias Ward had been stationed there for 42 days. He had counted. The silence around the post was not empty. It had weight. It pressed against his ears, settled into his thoughts, and stretched time into something slow and thick. Even the faint hum of the life support system sounded too loud, like it was breaking an unspoken rule. Elias leaned back in his chair, boots resting against the console, staring out through the wide observation pane. Endless sand. Faint glowing trails across the sky where distant ships passed without stopping. Nothing else. Front line of absolutely nothing, he muttered. The console flickered, as if agreeing. He picked up a small deck of worn cards and shuffled them slowly. The rhythm helped, something predictable in a place where nothing ever changed. I should have taken that transport job, he added. At least pirates shoot at you, that's interaction. A small maintenance drone hovered near the ceiling. It rotated slightly, its single lens focused on him. Don't judge me, Elias said. You've been here longer. The drone beeped softly. He sighed and stood, stretching stiff muscles. The suit adjusted automatically, tightening along his shoulders. Outside, the desert remained still. Until it didn't. At first, it was nothing, a flicker, a shift in the distance so subtle it could have been heat distortion. Elias frowned. He leaned closer to the glass. No, that's not nothing. He moved quickly to the console. Scan forward sector. The system hesitated, then responded. A faint signal appeared, small, moving. Elias stared. That's new. The figure grew clearer as it approached. Small. Walking. Not hiding, not rushing. Just walking. Elias grabbed his helmet and sealed it with a soft hiss. The world sharpened instantly through the visor. He stepped outside. The air was still, dry, unmoving. The figure continued forward. Closer. Closer. Then Elias stopped. That's a kid. The girl looked almost human at first glance. Same height, same posture, but as she approached, the differences became clear. Her ears were long, gently curved back. Her eyes held a strange depth, calm, ancient, and far too aware. She walked straight toward the perimeter barrier. Elias opened his mouth. Hey, stop. She didn't. She passed through the barrier. No resistance, no alarm, no flicker. Just through. Elias froze. That's not how that works. The girl stepped inside the post and looked around with quiet curiosity, as if she had entered a place she already understood. The systems remained silent. No warnings. No alerts. Nothing. Elias turned slowly to face her. Okay, he said carefully, we're already off to a bad start. The girl looked at him. Then she smiled. It wasn't threatening, it wasn't nervous. It was simple. Genuine. And somehow, that made it more unsettling. Elias rubbed the back of his neck. You just walked through a military-grade perimeter field, he said. That thing is designed to stop armored vehicles. She tilted her head slightly. No response. Right, Elias muttered, of course. She walked further inside, stopping near the small table. Her attention shifted to the deck of cards. She picked one up, turned it slowly in her fingers. Studying it. Elias hesitated, then stepped closer. Those aren't advanced technology, he said, just so you know. She placed the card down carefully. then looked at him. Elias blinked. Okay, communication attempt number 1 failed. He picked up the deck and shuffled. You play. No answer. Great, I'll assume that means yes. He dealt a few cards and slid them across the table. She sat, watched, learned. Within minutes, the rhythm formed. Card down. Response. Another card. Vasto. Elias leaned forward. Wait, you're picking this up way too quickly. She placed another card. He stared. You're winning. A faint smile appeared. There it is, he said, pointing. That's the face of someone who knows exactly what they're doing. She didn't deny it. Time passed. The silence changed. It wasn't heavy anymore. It was filled. Elias leaned back, shaking his head. I let a mysterious alien kid into my post, he said, and now she's beating me at cards. She placed her final card. He looked down, then sighed. Yeah, that tracks. She adjusted his patrol cap, which she had taken at some point without him noticing. It sat crooked on her head. Elias watched her fix it carefully. Okay, he admitted, that works. He glanced at the console. I'm supposed to report you, he said. She didn't react. There's a whole protocol, he continued. Unknown entity, possible threat, important people start making decisions. Nothing. Elias looked at her again. Then at the cards. Then back at her. He didn't move toward the console. Instead, he dealt another hand. Yeah, he said quietly, this is better. Outside, the desert remained still. But something had already begun to change. The vibration came first. Subtle. Deep. Not sound, but pressure. Elias paused, mid-shuffle. That's new. The girl didn't look up. She was aligning the cards with precise care. The vibration came again. Stronger. Elias turned to the console. The screen flickered. Then filled with signals. Multiple. Organized. Approaching fast. Oh, he said quietly. He glanced back at the girl. You might want to react to this one. She placed another card. Elias sighed. Of course you don't. He stepped outside. The horizon had changed. Shapes moved across the desert, sleek vehicles in perfect formation. Above them, faint distortions hinted at escort craft. Military. Advanced. Not friendly. Great, Elias muttered, confident strangers. Behind him, soft footsteps. He turned. The girl walked past him. Toward the convoy. Hey, no, bad idea, Elias said, moving after her. She didn't stop. He caught up, staying slightly behind her. You know something, don't you? He asked quietly. No answer. The convoy slowed. Stopped. Figures emerged. Tall. Armed. Precise. And then one stepped forward. Everything else seemed to fade. She was not just a leader. She was authority made visible. Her presence shaped the space around her. Her ears marked her as the same species as the girl. Her eyes locked onto the child. She stopped. The girl stopped. Silence stretched between them. Elias stood awkwardly in the middle. I feel like I'm in something important, he whispered. No one responded. The woman stepped forward slowly. You left, she said. Her voice was calm. Controlled. The girl nodded. You crossed the perimeter. Another nod. Elias raised a finger. In her defense, I don't think the perimeter applies to her. The woman's gaze flicked to him. He immediately lowered his hand. I'll stop talking now. The girl adjusted the patrol cap. The woman noticed. Something changed. Subtle, but real. She was laughing, the woman said softly. Elias blinked. Yes, he said carefully, there was laughter. The girl glanced at him. And card games, Elias added, mostly me losing. A faint sound escaped the girl. Almost a laugh. The soldiers behind the woman shifted. Not aggressively. Uncertain. The woman stepped closer. The girl stepped closer too. Then, a small hand reached out. Rested gently against the woman's arm. Elias held his breath. The woman didn't pull away. Instead, she covered the girl's hand with her own. The tension broke. Not completely, but enough. Elias exhaled slowly. I'm going to assume this is not the part where I get arrested, he said. No one answered. But no one moved against him either. The moment settled. Quiet. Heavy. Important. The woman finally looked at Elias fully. You allowed her to stay, she said. Elias shrugged. She didn't seem like she was going anywhere. A pause. And I didn't want her to. The words surprised him. The woman studied him. Then nodded. Small, but meaningful. The girl turned and walked back toward the post. Without hesitation, the woman followed. Elias blinked. Oh, we are doing this. Inside, the small outpost suddenly felt very small. The girl sat at the table, picked up the cards, began to deal. Elias leaned against the console. No way, he whispered. The woman stepped forward, looked at the cards, then slowly picked one up. Elias stared. I taught her that, he said quietly. The game began. No words, just motion. Card. Response. Rhythm. The soldiers waited outside. The war paused at the door. Elias watched. For the first time, he understood. This wasn't about power, or territory, or control. This was about something else. Something simpler. Something stronger. The game ended without announcement. No winner declared. The girl gathered the cards neatly. The woman spoke. We leave. The girl stood, removed the patrol cap, held it out to Elias. He hesitated. You don't have to, he said. She didn't lower her hand. He took it gently. Thank you, he said softly. She turned away, walked toward the convoy. Elias stepped outside. If she ever wants a rematch, he paused. Then corrected himself. When she wants a rematch, I'll be here. The girl paused, just for a second, then kept walking. The convoy moved, disappeared into the horizon. The silence returned. But it wasn't the same. Elias stepped back inside, placed the cap beside the cards, sat down, shuffled slowly. Let's see if I learned anything, he said. And for the first time, the silence felt like something that had meaning. 3 days passed. Then 5. Then 10. The war resumed beyond the horizon. Signals returned to normal. Orders came and went. Elias remained at the post. But nothing felt the same. He still played cards. Still talked to the drone. Still watched the empty desert. But now, he waited. Not for orders. Not for danger. For something else. On the 12th day, the sky changed. Ships. Not passing. Arriving. Large. Powerful. Too many. Elias stood slowly. That's not routine. The console lit up with emergency signals. Multiple factions. Multiple fleets. Weapons armed. A battle forming. Right above his quiet little post. Elias swallowed. This is bad. The first explosions lit the sky. Silent at first. Then the shockwaves came. The ground trembled. The war had arrived. He moved to the console. Opened a channel. This is Outpost Theta 9, he said, requesting. Static. Systems failing. Weapons charging above. He stepped outside. Watched as ships maneuvered for destruction. Then, a new signal. Different. Stronger. The convoy. But larger. Much larger. At its center. The same presence. The Queen. Her fleet entered the battlefield. Not attacking. Positioning. Between. Elias frowned. What are they doing? Weapons from both sides locked onto them. The tension reached breaking point. Then, nothing. No fire. No attack. Just silence. In the middle of war. Elias watched in disbelief. The Queen's ship moved forward. Alone. Exposed. Every weapon in orbit could destroy it. It didn't matter. It kept moving. A transmission opened. Not just to one side. To all. Elias heard her voice again. Calm. Steady. You fight for control, she said, for fear, for pride. A pause. But I have seen something else. Elias felt his chest tighten. Inside the ship, the girl stood beside her. Visible to all. A human soldier, the Queen continued, stood alone at the edge of your war. No power. No authority. No reason to act. But he chose kindness. Images transmitted. The post. The cards. The laughter. The silence filled with something better. He did not fear what he did not understand, she said. He did not destroy what he could not control. He chose to welcome. The battlefield remained still. Weapons lowered. Slowly. One by one. If one human alone can choose peace, the Queen said softly, then so can we. Elias stood frozen. Wait, what? The silence spread. Across ships. Across armies. Across enemies. Then, one ship powered down its weapons. Then another. Then another. The war stopped. Not ended. But paused. Because of one small moment. One simple choice. Back at the outpost, Elias exhaled slowly. I played cards. Above, fleets began to withdraw. Not in defeat, but in understanding. The Queen's ship lingered. For a moment. Then turned. And left. Days later, a message arrived. No military code. No command authority. Just coordinates. And a single line. Rematch. Elias smiled. Picked up the deck. Yeah, he said quietly. I think I'm ready. The end, final message. In a galaxy ruled by power, it was not strength that changed everything. It was not weapons. Not fleets. Not fear. It was one human. Alone. Choosing kindness when it mattered most. And that was enough.